because you were an essential part of that crime. When you went to spend that blood money on sneakers and jerseys, you revealed to the court the value you placed on the human life that was taken.
Dedrick Williams was in a Broward County courtroom for violating his probation in a previous grand theft charge. He is also—
You won't believe what's happening right now. Things are really heating up in the court case surrounding XXXTentacion's death. One of the convicted killers, Dedrick Williams, is now claiming that Drake was somehow involved in the murder. It sounds crazy, but the evidence he's presenting in court is truly shocking. Stick with us as we dive into these stunning allegations and what they could mean for one of the biggest names in hip-hop. Now, let's rewind a bit. Here's the story from the beginning. J. Dwayne Ricardo Onfroy, better known as XXXTentacion, was born on January 23, 1998 in Florida. He quickly rose to fame in the music world with his unique blend of emo rap, capturing the hearts of fans with hits like Moonlight and Look at Me. Despite his growing popularity, X's life was filled with controversy, mainly due to his run-ins with the law. Yet, he remained beloved by many, particularly younger fans who could relate to his raw, emotional style. But here's where it takes a tragic turn. The promising young star's career was cut short when he was tragically shot and killed on June 18, 2018. X was gunned down outside a motorcycle dealership in Deerfield Beach, Florida. Having just withdrawn $50,000, he was leaving the store with a friend when an SUV blocked their path. Security cameras caught everything. Two armed men emerged from the SUV, an altercation followed, and the men fired shots at X before fleeing with the money.
He is also charged with the murder of rapper XXXTentacion. Detectives say Williams killed the rapper as he left a motorsports store in Deerfield Beach.
And at the conclusion of this evidence, you'll find that Dedrick Williams, Michael Boatwright, and Trayvon Newsom are guilty of first-degree murder and guilty of armed robbery in this case.
The trial of three men.
The most heartbreaking part of it all is that he was just 20 years old, right at the peak of his music career, gone far too soon. So here's where things get even crazier. An appeal has been filed, and now questions are being raised about Drake's possible involvement in the aftermath of X's death. In the wake of She's tragic passing, 4 suspects were arrested and a trial followed. One of the suspects, Robert Allen, shocked everyone by turning on the others and striking a deal with the authorities. His testimony led to the conviction of the other 3, who were found guilty on all counts and sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Talk about a serious betrayal. The plot thickens even further as one of the convicted men, Dedrick Devin Williams, is now filing documents for an appeal. Williams and his legal team are claiming that he didn't receive a fair trial. They argue that crucial evidence was either ignored or excluded during the trial, and this evidence could potentially shake up the entire entertainment industry. The real bombshell: they've named Drake as part of the case, making things even more complicated for the famous rapper. What initially seemed like just a rumor is now taking a more serious turn. Williams, who was convicted in the tragic murder of XXXTentacion and is believed to have been the getaway driver, is appealing his conviction after his legal team claims that key evidence was not presented in court. His attorney, Mauricio Padilla, has pointed to Drake as a possible suspect. Padilla argues that the jury didn't hear all the facts, which could have changed the outcome of the trial. It seems like Drake can't catch a break, with his name now being tied to a case that's only getting more intense. In an interview with Jesse Weber, Padilla explains in detail what's happening and what this could mean for everyone involved. Stay tuned, because this is only getting started.
Surveillance cameras captured the ambush of rapper XXXTentacion as he prepared to leave a Deerfield Beach motorcycle dealership last June. The cameras show a vehicle block the rapper's exit, and then men jump out of the vehicle and confront XXXTentacion.
X didn't hold back in calling out Drake, labeling his actions as some pretty shady behavior for someone at the top of the game. X wasn't about to let it slide and continued to air out his frustrations. But then things took an even stranger turn. X made a bizarre claim, saying that Drake should have shown up to his court date to speak on his behalf. This left everyone even more confused about the whole situation. X went on, saying, "I still think Drizzy, like I think he's not a man. I think that's a move. Especially when I was in jail facing life. You know what I'm saying? If Drake would have come to my bond hearing." XXXTentacion and Drake's feud was undeniable, and it's clear these two had some serious tension between them. It's not uncommon for young, rising rappers to stir up controversy with big names in the industry as a way to boost their careers, and it seems like Sex might have borrowed that page from the playbook. Taking on Drake was no small move, and things escalated quickly. The drama began in 2017 when Drake was on tour. He teased snippets of his new track, Kempt, which many people were excited about. However, X wasn't impressed. After the teaser dropped, fans quickly started comparing it to X's hit song Look at Me, noting how the opening lines of both tracks sounded strikingly similar. This sparked a back and forth, and it was clear this was a powder keg waiting to go off. Drake responded by acknowledging that the first two lines might sound similar to X's song but denied any intentional copying. Drake was quick to deny the allegations of ripping off the young rapper's song, expressing shock that anyone would think he'd do something like that. He firmly stated he wasn't that naive and wasn't the type of person to steal from someone. He even said that if it were true, he should have reached out to one of X's managers to avoid the whole situation. But as we all know, X wasn't the type to just sit quietly in the background. He saw this as a perfect opportunity to stir the pot, and he did just that. X wasted no time taking to Twitter, firing back at Drake and boldly claiming that Drake's career was over, suggesting that he better start investing his money elsewhere. Pretty bold move from X, right? And he didn't stop there. He cranked up the disrespect even further by making a phone call from jail to his longtime friend DJ Academics. During the call, X revealed that Drake had been pretending not to know him, even though they communicated before. He also pointed out that Drake had reached out to him through a mutual friend and gave him props in an interview. Before Kempt dropped, Drake and X had actually discussed working together, according to X's former manager, Adam22. This revelation makes the whole situation even more interesting, don't you think? But things only get juicier as the weeks went by, and the phone conversations between X and DJ Academics continued to surface, adding more fuel to the fire. X didn't hold back in these conversations, going straight for Drake's throat. He accused the rapper of being a culture vulture, always trying to steal from up-and-coming artists. But that wasn't all. X dropped some major tea, reminding everyone about the controversial Drake and Dram situation. According to X, Drake had allegedly stolen the song Hotline Bling from Dram, who was originally supposed to do a remix of it. This revelation only escalated the tension between X and Drake, making it clear that their beef was far from over.
Dietrich Williams realizes that he doesn't have a mask to rob people. What did you guys decide to do?
Go buy one.
Where?
Freedom Motorsport.
Who drove to Regal Motorsports?
X expressed that things would have been different if Drake had shown up at his court hearing. He said, "That would have made my day. If he would have shown that he's a hospitable person and that he's really in this for the culture, rather than being a expletive, taking my stuff and running off with it, putting it on his album, then I would have given him my respect. I would have let him hop on the remix, take 100% of the royalties, I would have done it. I know I could maintain, you get what I'm saying, and I would have appreciated him for being a real expletive. But Drake's not a real expletive. This was a sharp jab, as X made it clear he was disappointed by what he saw as Drake's lack of authenticity. But that wasn't even the wildest part. X took it even further by taking a low blow at Drake in a completely unexpected way. He apparently shot his shot at Drake's mother on Twitter, calling her cute and saying she could get it. It was a pretty low move even for X, and if that wasn't enough, he pulled the same stunt on Instagram Live later that day. Yes, you heard that right. X entertained his followers by making even more jabs, saying, "Tell Drake's mom I want some tapioca pudding. Tell Drake's mom I like my pudding tapioca." The shots kept coming, with X not backing down from his antics. X wasn't done taking shots at Drake. This time, he went after Drake's use of a Jamaican accent, accusing him of pretending to be something he's not. During an Instagram live session, X called him out, saying, "Stop speaking patois, you're not Jamaican. I'm a real Jamaican. I'm from Kingston. My entire family is from Kingston. Stop stealing my people's culture and get out of here. We don't claim you." This sparked even more accusations of cultural appropriation, adding fuel to the already tense situation. Now, you're probably wondering how Drake responded to all this. Surprisingly, he chose to stay silent. He kept his cool.
He had posted on Instagram, if anybody kills me, I'm snitching right now, it's Champagne Poppy. I'm paraphrasing, but something to that effect, right? So, imagine, the decedent said prior to his death, if anybody kills me, it's Champagne Poppy, which is Drake's Instagram.
In what many saw as the high road, Let's be honest, that was a pretty composed move for Champagne Papi, wouldn't you agree? But the drama didn't end there. It dragged on with more shots fired from both sides. Things escalated further when other rappers, like 600 Breezy, got involved in the feud. The tension was undeniable, and the jabs kept coming. Drake even threw some subtle shade by liking a comment on DJ Academic's Instagram mocking X for getting knocked out. The back and forth continued, with moments of intensity and brief pauses, but one thing was clear: neither side was willing to let it go. The tension between Drake and X seemed to settle in 2018, when X publicly apologized to Drake's mother for the disrespectful comments he had made about her. Despite this gesture, X remained firm in his belief that Drake had copied his song. He addressed the issue directly, saying, "I want to apologize to Drake for what I said about his mom. I saw you as a business opportunity, just like you saw me as one when you took the cadence from my song. I'm not going to argue if the cadence is the same. If I'm being emotional, so be it. We agreed to disagree like men, but I was wrong to involve his mom." While X took some accountability for his words, he didn't waver on his claim that Drake had borrowed his flow. Fast forward to the present, and the legal drama surrounding Dedrick Williams, one of the men convicted in X's tragic killing, has taken a surprising turn. Dedrick's defense attorney, Mauricio Padilla, is now attempting to shift the focus of the case by suggesting that Drake may have a deeper connection to the events than previously considered. Padilla has highlighted several alleged errors in the trial, arguing that these missteps support Dedrick's appeal. In a bold move, he's pushing to involve Drake as part of the defense strategy. This unexpected twist is adding even more complexity and tension to an already controversial situation.
Aubrey Graham, also known as Drake, may actually be linked to late rapper Hassaf Onfroy, also known as XXXTentacion's murder. This may actually be more than just rumors. Dedrick Williams, one of the men convicted in the tragic killing as the getaway driver of the late rapper's death, is appealing his conviction after evidence was not allowed in court, according to his attorney, Mauricio Padilla, who is appointing Drake as a possible suspect. Williams' attorney Padilla argues that the jury didn't hear all the facts.
In a recent turn of events, Dedrick Williams' attorney, Mauricio Padilla, expressed significant concerns about the legal process in his client's case. Padilla alleged that the court had removed every witness he had included on his witness list, a move he claims is not legally permissible. He explained that in December 2020, after submitting the list of witnesses, the state responded by filing a motion to have all of them excluded. Mauricio Padilla, defense attorney for Dedrick Williams, strongly criticized the state's handling of the case, accusing them of taking an improper shotgun approach by attempting to strike all of his defense witnesses without providing specific reasons. Padilla argued that this broad motion was legally flawed, as the state cannot request the removal of all witnesses without clear and detailed justification. During a hearing, Padilla had to push back against this motion, and while the court ultimately did not grant the state's request, the situation added another layer of complexity to the defense. Padilla also filed a motion to secure testimony from DJ Academics, a longtime friend of X who played a prominent role in the ongoing feud by sharing numerous videos about his interactions with X on YouTube. In one such video, DJ Academics discussed the controversy involving Drake's mother and Drake's disturbing image. X had wanted him to post a photo of a Drake look-alike with semen on his face. Academics refused to share the image, calling it disgusting, and even warned X to be careful. He reminded X that while Drake might not be a gangster, he was still capable of retaliation. Mauricio Padilla highlighted that the court denied his motion to secure DJ Academics' testimony, a decision.
I still think Drake, I think he's not a man. I think that's a move, especially when I was in jail facing life. But you know what I'm saying? If Drake would have came to my barn hearing, you know what I'm saying, that would have made my day. If he would have showed that he's
that only deepened the questions surrounding the case. Padilla explained that the court was already aware of his defense theory, and he had previously filed a motion to preserve Academics' testimony. As someone close to X, DJ Academics had shared several YouTube videos about their feud, including a conversation where X discussed his issues with Drake. During that exchange, X either said or posted something about Drake's mother and sent Academics a disturbing photo of a Drake lookalike with semen on his face, asking him to post it. Academics refused, calling the image vile, and warned X to tread carefully, noting that while Drake might not be a gangster, provoking him could still lead to trouble. In a later court hearing, a process server who had attempted to serve Drake with a subpoena appeared as a witness. The server, James Beard, wanted to present video evidence of the incident, which reportedly showed Drake's bodyguards being uncooperative. In a bizarre twist, the footage allegedly captured one of Drake's employees kicking the subpoena down the road outside Drake's mansion. The chaotic scene added yet another dramatic layer to the already contentious legal proceedings. Mauricio Padilla described the challenges he faced in court while trying to involve Drake in the case. He pointed out that the process server's video, which reportedly showed Drake's bodyguards and employees refusing to cooperate during an attempted subpoena delivery, including one employee kicking the subpoena down the road leading to Drake's mansion, was not allowed to be shown in court. Instead of addressing the video evidence, the judge questioned why Padilla wanted to involve Drake at all. In a surprising turn, the judge granted Drake's motion to quash the subpoena and even issued a protective order in his favor. On top of that, Drake's attorney, Brad Cohen, was allowed to argue California law without a California expert present, a move Padilla argued was improper. The judge also struck Drake from Padilla's witness list, a decision Padilla called completely inappropriate. According to Padilla, the judge seemed to reverse course from earlier instructions to figure it out and coordinate the deposition.
A hospitable person, and that he's really in this for the culture, rather than being a nigga taking my running off with it and then putting it on his album. Then he would have got my kudos, he would have got my respect. I would have let him hop on the remix, take 100% royalty rate. I would have done it. Because I know I can maintain, you know what I'm saying, that I would have appreciated him for being a real nigga. But Drake
Instead, the judge questioned why Drake was being involved, sided with his legal team, and ultimately dismissed him from the case. Padilla speculated that Drake's immense celebrity status might have influenced these decisions, describing him as a super celebrity whose influence could have led to biased and unconstitutional rulings. He argued that these decisions undermined the fairness of Dedrick's trial and compromised the legal process. The treatment given to Drake in this case mirrors a familiar script we've seen countless times when dealing with someone of immense fame. Mauricio Padilla stopped short of making direct accusations, but hinted at the imbalance, saying, "When you're dealing with someone like Drake, he's not just a celebrity, he's a super celebrity, on a whole different level of fame. When a judge does a complete 180 like that, I'll let others speculate on why they think it happened." The situation became even more perplexing when the judge struck Jesse De La Cruz, a gang expert from the witness list. De La Cruz had reportedly uncovered visual evidence suggesting that Drake might have ties to the same organization as Robert Allen, a co-defendant in the case. According to De La Cruz, his research included images of Drake throwing the same gang signs as Allen in various social media posts. Adding to the intrigue, De La Cruz also claimed that some of Drake's associates were allegedly seen in X's neighborhood, threatening him before his death. The defense reportedly intended to call De La Cruz as a witness to connect these findings to the case. He had even shared his observations with the court, which included connections between Drake's song lyrics and X's tragic passing. Despite these revelations, the court dismissed De La Cruz as a witness, raising even more questions about the fairness of the proceedings. After X's death, two songs in particular came under scrutiny for their questionable lyrics. The first, XXX, includes a line where Drake says he shot below the neck, which raised suspicions. The second song, I'm Upset, features a line about Louis bags for body bags, which Cruz believes refers to the Louis Vuitton bag X had on him during the shootout, a bag containing $50,000 that was stolen. With such potentially significant connections to the case, it's baffling that the judge denied Cruz the opportunity to testify as a witness. Things only got messier from there. Shortly after X's death, the situation continued to unravel, with new developments emerging almost by the minute. It's clear that the case has become increasingly complex and controversial, leaving many wondering why the judge made the decisions he did.
Patois, you are not Jamaican. I'm a real Jamaican. I'm from Kingston. All of my family is from Kingston. Stop stealing my people's culture. Get the off our...
Drake released a song titled XXX, which contains suspicious lyrics, including the line Sims X, "That's the only time I shot below the neck." Dr. Cruz found another potential connection between the murder and Drake's lyrics in the song I'm Upset. The song includes the line Louis bags for body bags, which Cruz believes was a reference to murder, specifically pointing to the Louis Vuitton bag X had on him during the shootout, which contained $50,000. Despite these findings, Cruz was completely excluded from the trial, and the jury never heard any of his conclusions. Padilla expressed his belief that the decision to exclude Cruz's testimony was not a legal one, but rather a questionable move that raised doubts about the fairness of the trial. Mauricio Padilla argued that it was a serious error for the court to exclude crucial testimony, particularly from Dr. Cruz. He also presented evidence, including pictures of Drake with Lil Wayne making a Bloods gang sign, and other details suggesting that Drake might be flaunting gang ties. Despite this, the court denied the opportunity to fully present the case. Padilla also claimed that while he was allowed to cross-examine Robert Allen, the court limited how thoroughly he could conduct the questioning. He explained that he tried to ask Allen about one of the guns used in the crime, which Allen's father allegedly provided, and his supposed connections to Toronto. However, the judge shut down that line of questioning. Padilla pointed out that Allen had admitted his father was a known firearms dealer who had provided at least one of the guns used in the incident, yet the judge didn't allow the question to be explored further. Furthermore, Padilla criticized the state's attorney for making a critical mistake by asking Allen about Drake, specifically whether he knew if Drake was in Miami at the time. This line of questioning, according to Padilla, was yet another misstep in the trial. Before Drake was struck from the witness list, the possibility of him being a person of interest in the case was opened, complicating Mauricio Padilla's defense. During cross-examination, Padilla asked Robert Allen about Drake's whereabouts, and Allen responded by saying his partner had checked social media and confirmed Drake's location. Padilla argued that this was a flimsy verification for such a serious homicide trial, especially since it wasn't included in the official report. He believed this was a deceptive move that the prosecution managed to get away with. Padilla described the trial as a constant struggle to do his job and highlight where reasonable doubt existed. He also pointed out a problematic moment during direct questioning of Detective Kershaw, the lead detective in the case. The state attorney asked the detective if he had any information linking Drake to the crime, which, according to Padilla, opened the door for Drake's involvement before the court struck him as a witness. This moment, Padilla argued, created a significant issue in the case. While many believed justice had been served with the charging of Dedrick Williams and the other two convicts, Padilla felt the trial was riddled with blunders and contradictions that couldn't be ignored. He speculated that while Drake might have been involved in X's death, the numerous errors in the trial might have spared the superstar from facing serious consequences. However, Padilla suggested that the appeal could still go through, and if it does, Drake could find himself in serious legal trouble. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and share, and stay tuned for our next video, where we'll be discussing the ongoing feud between Kendrick Lamar and Drake.